When we talk the hard truth, we're not beating around the bush. We're getting straight to the point, dealing with real issues, social, politics, and much more. Monday to Friday, the only place to be is right here on Real TV.
In a world full of noise, choose clarity. The Real News digital publication is your choice for important news coverage. From influential figures shaping our nation to a powerful week in review that keeps you informed. The weekly edition is available for download on all of our social media platforms. Smart, sharp, essential. Real News digital publication. Stay informed. Stay educated, stay empowered.
And we're back. Welcome back to Voices of the People, Trimbago Speaks. So today we're speaking about the little baby that was murdered in Tobago by his stepdad. And
based on the reports given, that's what he said.
Right.
We could only assume it's
I understand.
You know.
But needless to say, he was murdered because they have yet to find his body and
nobody no case,
Excuse me?
Nobody no case.
You're talking strippiness. But yeah, so Mr. Enrique was saying to me that he thinks the court system is biased to fathers and it makes them feel a certain way, indicating that, you know, they should give up. Is that what you were trying to say?
No. I'm not saying fathers should give up. I applaud a father that fights for their children.
Right.
Right. I think all fathers, because at the end of the day, it take two hands to clap and one yours clap anyways. Right? When you were making those children, it wasn't the mother alone. So fight and accept responsibilities. But when relationships don't work, especially if it was toxic during the relationship and stuff like that, you know? And then you have to resort to the court legal system for custody, or you know, just even trying to exercise your right to access to your child. It's biased because society sees women as lesser than, no matter how many movements you have, Me Too or whatever. The reality remains society sees women as lesser than men.
In Trinidad.
In Trinidad. All over, no matter what the media says.
In Trinidad.
Right? So, when the mother or woman, whatever, comes with the sad story, it's easier to sympathize with them rather than the father. You know? And that's what you see in the court systems. That's what you see from law enforcement officers treating with these cases and stuff like that. You know? So it's a lot more difficult for a father to fight for his children than a mother. So then when you have those things to deal with, and then you have whatever other things you're dealing with in your life, some just tend to make peace with others and give up. You know, they go with the mantra that your children will grow one day and they would know, and you know, they should just hope that the universal fate allows it to work in their favor.
I mean, yes, I've lived outside of Trinidad for a number of years, but I do think the court system will be the same when it comes to finding where it's best suitable for the child, right? Yes, may be more sympathetic towards the mother, but shouldn't it be a 50-50 if the father is capable of providing a stable house for the child? Wouldn't the court system rule with, what is it called, where you do the co-parenting?
Yeah, custody, joint custody.
Right, so you will have the child for a certain period of time, the mom will have the child for a certain period of time, and then based on the income, then
In an ideal world, yes. But this is Trinidad. And you see, that's the next thing too. Parents in custody battles in this country, what we've realized, the culture is not for the interest of the child, most times.
How so?
Most times parents, mothers, fathers, whatever, they use it to either A, spite either party. You do this whatever, we didn't work out, so I go and put you in court and I go and take my children from you. No children for you. Or for financial gain. Some parents know, well, alright, I don't want to work, but I'm trying with you, so I go and put you in court for maintenance. You know?
I understand what you're saying,
And
but
that has been the culture here. So rather than the interest of the child understanding, well, we will co-parent, I will do my 50%, you do your 50%, however the arrangement goes, and you come to a quick mutual agreement, that's not the case. You rather drag it out as well. No, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. Here, well, you send this and send that, or whatever the case is. And it really mostly just boils down to maintenance too, so that's survival money. So in most cases, in this country, once you agree, you shouldn't even have to reach the magistrate or the judge.
well,
It's something that can be
sometimes,
settled.
no, sometimes you may have a mutual agreement and you may do something to piss her off or she do something to piss you off and then that goes down the drain. But if you go to court and it's in black and white, if whatever is written or agreed upon during the court hearing is not followed, then you just go back to court. I know it's not that simple, but there's a process in place for a reason.
That's what I was saying. So yes, we could have a mutual agreement and put it in black and white, but I don't have to reach to the courts.
I
To
mean,
reach as far as affidavit or JP or so and get it notarized.
well, and then again, it goes back to who you choose as a partner, right?
Yeah. And that point you make with who tripping who off or pissing who off or so on. And now you're allowing your emotions towards your partner affect the well-being of the child. So because again, like I said, you vex with me, so you go and spite me in court.
You know, it had this show I used to watch, Divorce Court, and the judge used to always say, look deep before you leap. So it goes back to the individual you choose to have kids with.
It does. And you see, the thing is, today too, because I think they're young parents, having children for the vanity of it, for the lust of it, you had to have children as an accessory.
Or you get pregnant to hold the man,
Yeah.
and then things don't work out, so now you have this child caught in the middle of a very stupid situation.
And these are the unfortunate outcomes. Because you thinking for yourself and not for your child, right? Not for how you could get threatened that there was an abortion and you abort my child and I go and kill yours.
And actually kill the child, because again, they still haven't found the body of baby Tobias.
Yeah. And then some people are also saying as well too that she didn't say anything because either A, she loved him too much and she would nothing happen to him, or B, she's afraid, she would have seen
She's
what
not afraid.
My thoughts exactly. So I think, this is just a wild theory. Disclaimer already. What if she did it and he covering for
Oh
her?
wow, that is very wild, but that is also a possibility as well.
What if she was like, alright, fine, let me start fresh. We lost this one, problems with the next one, and because there are women and things like that, they give up on their children to start something new with somebody else because you're so caught up in this with this man, right? that you want to please him, you want him, you're willing to do anything that you give him a children and could have possibly killed your child as well too.
Wow. And I didn't think of that, but that is also, could be a possibility.
Because thinking of what we've seen so far circulating in the media, we've seen another personality show a video where they would have taken the suspect, carded and white identity hidden back to the scene of the crime. They usually don't take the person, the suspect that committed the crime, back to the scene. Correct me if I'm wrong, huh? Because based on the images we've seen of the stepfather and the images we saw of the suspect going back to the crime silhouetted in the white outfit, that looked like the stepfather. And if it's his stepfather that killed the child and he now has to say where the body dumped and stuff, why take somebody other than back to the scene?
Well, but they have 7 people arrested. I mean, I don't understand what role these 7 people played in the murder, disappearance of baby Tobias, but...
No one confessed. And only take the confessee back to the scene. Sorry, the confessor.
I read somewhere where he said he dumped the body in the sea.
Can't trust everything you read. Right. And then it's been an eventful week.
Most definitely.
And it also questions the competence of this police service as well too.
Well, that's another story because
everything that's happening so far, confidence in the police service, it's plummeting. I think that's the cue to go into the next topic.
Yes,
But before we do, I mean, it really is unfortunate what would have happened to baby Angelo, right? And as a father, I am pleading with the fathers of Trinidad and Tobago. Seek interest in your child's life. That's not anybody else's child, that's your child.
And no matter how the mother acts, don't let that deter you from fighting for your right to be a father.
Yeah. And mummies, be very cautious of who you lay with. I mean, there are some dads that do some horrible things as well too. You know? Mm-hmm. You're not biased here. This is not the court. Alright. But I think that's another next topic.
The Joshua Samaru. Which another hot topic this week. And the fact that they want to charge the girlfriend with his murder. Now this just goes back to why police officers in Trinidad and Tobago need to wear body cams. Because now we don't know if she actually shot at the police or if this is a story that they just created in an attempt not to charge these officers.
So far we just had us to say thank God that they would have stopped and the incident would have happened in a place that was well monitored with CCTV cameras, because who knows what other allegations and stuff would have come out of it.
Right.
Yeah? And why the pushback for body cameras? You know, the main thing they're using is the feasibility, but yet we are seeing the TTPS spending money on things that are way more expensive than getting body cameras. How much electric vans they now buy? How much are about 50 or so? Well, but I think that they purchased so much vehicles recently. You know, it had to keep count. But it have no accountability for police actions.
This is my take. If police was not doing things that they're not supposed to do on the job, there would be no pushback for body cams.
Exactly.
It is there for their safety as well as citizens. But yet still, they don't want it. And it's kind of sad to see the persons in authority that could approve this, they are also siding with the pushback. So what does that say about policing in Trinidad and Tobago?
It doesn't say good things. So you made a point, right? We don't know if she really shoot back or so. She could have been shooting out of the footage we would have seen.
Again,
right,
I read somewhere
right? She could have.
where she fired 3 shots and there's actually footage of shots being fired out the vehicle.
But how you could want to charge she for the murder of the guy when
Well,
we clearly saw it wasn't her?
Well, they're saying that they returned fire. So if she did not shoot first, police would not have to return fire.
What return fire? The aqua, the electric vehicle?
No,
The exhaust backfire? That's the only...
no, they're saying that she shot at the police officers first, which caused the police to have to shoot back at the vehicle. So I don't know if anything ever came out when this initially happened as to why they were fleeing from the police.
So wait, hold on. When they shot the vehicle up, help me to understand, you're a little slow one already, right? When they shot at the vehicle, when they shoot up the vehicle, they say the reason why they did that is because she had shot behind them 3 times.
Correct.
And she was in the service at some point in time?
I was in the Navy. I was not in the service. I was in the U.S. Navy.
Right, so, but and when you engage in, right, especially with lethal force, and it is that you have to be in imminent danger.
Well, with her shooting at the police, they're saying that they're in...
Just come back to me, right? Before we go to the break. So your hands outside...
No, this is before all of that.
No, well, that's done, but again, if the vehicle stop and nobody's shooting behind you, your hands outside the vehicle, so the passenger side, where she would have been pinned against the wall. Based on what you see, there's no glass break with anything, any projectiles coming out of the vehicle, so you can't say you shoot through the back windscreen.
Well, they're saying someone may have been in the back seat now.
So where that person, they run? They fade through the and went down.
They're saying there may have been someone in the back seats.
We'll be right back after these messages.
My mom has everything. What do I give her?
This May, give her something meaningful. Celebrate every moment with Elegant Accents. In honor of all mothers, we're offering an exclusive 50% off gold and platinum plated jewelry, the perfect way to show love, appreciation, and timeless elegance. Discover so much more in store. Fragrances, watches, handbags, home decor, gift items, and more. Visit us at Elegant Accents, 339 Eastern Main Road, El Dorado, 6 buildings east of Cora Junction on the left, or WhatsApp 719-3894. Make her feel cherished because she deserves nothing less.
Macon Construction Company Limited. Save big whilst building stronger. We build with our Macon innovative building systems, which provides high wind speed, earthquake, sea blast and fire resistance. Is thermally and acoustically insulated. Provides improved construction timelines and cost savings. We provide construction services from design to finish and everything in between. Macon Construction Company Limited. Building green today with tomorrow's technology. Contact or visit us today.
Broadcast your yagnas, weddings, and Hindu celebrations live on Real TV. Share your special moments with us. Share your devotion with the nation. Call us at 373-8946 or email realtv.corporate@gmail.com to host your celebration today.
Are you looking for the right space for your business? Fred's Plaza has the space you need. We offer professional rental spaces designed for growing businesses. Conveniently located in San Juan on the Eastern Main Road, opposite the PTSC terminal and between Royal Castle and Mario's. Easy access, high visibility. For inquiries, call or WhatsApp 868-384-7142 today, or visit Level 3 Fred's Plaza for details.
In a world full of noise, choose clarity. The Real News digital publication is your choice for important news coverage. From influential figures shaping our nation to a powerful week in review that keeps you informed. The weekly edition is available for download on all of our social media platforms. Smart, sharp, essential. Real News digital publication. Stay informed, stay educated, stay empowered.
And we're back to this week's episode of Voices of the People, Trinbago Speaks. Now, before we went on commercial break, we were speaking about the Joshua Samaru situation and the fact that they're wanting to charge his girlfriend. And actually, well, she's actually in, I believe, America at the moment. And they plan on filing charges against her. And if she don't return voluntarily, they're going to extradite her back to Trinidad to face charges of the deaths of Joshua Samaru. Right? So, did we also mention that she was actually paralyzed from this incident that occurred? Yeah, they were saying that she shot at the police first and they in turn returned fire. So what I was asking you, Enrique, before we went on the commercial break is, why were they fleeing from the police to begin with? And I think a lot of people are probably missing that part. I don't know if shots were fired at the police officers, but I do want to know why, when they were initially pulled over, why didn't they just stop?
So here's the thing, right? We don't know what happened before that, before what the world saw from the CCTV footages, right? But at the end of the day, there is a use of force policy, okay? Whether they shot at them prior, whether it was in some sort of illegal transaction or so, in the moment when the police officers decided to use deadly force, they had already surrendered based on the footages that we saw.
Right?
Right? So the use of force policy dictates that you ain't supposed to kill them. You're supposed to apprehend them and bring them to the courts for answer for the crimes that you may or may not have committed.
I think...
If it is that in that moment, they had indeed, rather than putting his hands out or so on and indeed shot behind the police in that moment, I would have seen, then right, you have all means to use deadly force. And if you look as well if you look back, think back to the footage, there was enough time to factor in human error. Right? So it means that they had time to think about what they was going to do. By the time the man jumped out the van and saw his hands were already out of the vehicle.
That's his hands were already out of the vehicle. But remember, they're saying that shots are being fired from the vehicle. So you're looking at his hands is out, but they're stating that shots are being fired. So sometimes we have to put ourselves in the mindset of a police officer, right? Remember, they're coming out to do a dangerous job, right? So in their mind, I have to do whatever I need to do to make it back home to my family tonight.
Did they find the firearm?
Well, I am thinking if they don't have two different sets of bullets, then they're stating that shots were being fired at them cannot hold up. So, you know, the police don't tell the public everything. They leave back some information. This is why a certain individual is coming under fire now, because they're blaming him for putting out information before the police, and it's interfering with their investigation.
My chance individual is in the media industry.
Right. But they're saying, you know,
So they're trying to censor us now?
they're saying that information is being put out to the public that should not be released to the public, and it's not allowing the police the ability to properly investigate these crimes.
How is the public being aware of the information hampering the investigation? In fact, this should be able to assist them, because now they know.
Well, it should, but you know, again, they don't want to wear body cams, so they don't want the public privy to certain information. It's just a conspiracy all around, if you ask me. But you have to look at certain factors. Yes, his hands were out the window, but now the police is saying shots were being fired. There were other individuals in the vehicle. So it could spin any way. Any which way, it could spin.
I want to know where the gun is.
Which one are the guns?
The ones that fired at the police. I want to know where are the other shells. I don't know how. That's how I want to see how they're going to spin this.
It's going to be very interesting to see, because it looks like they're trying very hard not to charge their officers. So now this girl may or may not have shot at the police, and they're putting it all on her now.
Yeah, and that's the next thing too. Any officer, while carrying out any actions on duty, whether it be considered a criminal or not, is exempted from the law.
In Trinidad.
In Trinidad, yeah. Yeah. So now they feel, well, alright, I can do what I want because I'm on duty, you know? And that's why they're sent on leave rather than terminated and until the investigation says otherwise.
Well, this will set precedent, because officers will now think that they can do whatever, because we have footage showing what we see, and yet still somehow they manage to switch the narrative that this girl killed the guy.
Exactly, and they'll continue to think they have to do whatever, especially when you have an executive that one asks for accountability is always deflecting and attacking the persons that ask for accountability. You know? It can't be that. You can't have criminals within the elements that are supposed to regulate the criminals. Had to be a yin and a yang.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the issue that we have, because, again, like the point you have made earlier, if it is that law enforcement officers aren't involved in anything, there shouldn't be pushback. If you're guilty, if you know you're nothing wrong, so what's the problem? Or we can't see what you're doing. If you know people always pulling allegations around you and always saying the police wicked and stuff, why wouldn't you want to have something to show, well, the police ain't wicked, we're not doing anything wrong?
It's funny that, because just a little off topics, I was having a discussion with someone, because I was sitting up and I saw the police pull up to an illegal gambling ring that was happening in the junction where I reside. And you know, everybody just take off running. So I said to the person sitting next to me, I said, but you know, why the police just come and everybody run, but they never arrest anybody? I say, isn't like the WAPI is not illegal? Yes. I said, so how come they never arrest anybody? And the person said to me, why would the police arrest anybody when everybody take off running, they could go and take up the money on the ground and get our money for themselves? And I said, wow, okay.
Well, how much money is on the ground?
WAPI does bring in big money, boy. It was a guy from Valencia that got shot leaving a WAPI somewhere in Arima, and he had about 80,000 on him.
From the WAPI?
From the WAPI.
Again, the When people show on us all my money, I should.
Wapid is bringing big money, but it just goes to show that this is how people view the police in Trinidad. Why would they arrest them because remember, when they see the police, everybody just scatter.
Yeah.
So now everything is on the ground, the cards, the money, everything is there, and they say the police will just take it up and they will split that up and they're gone.
And speaking with officers, some officers and stuff, I would know. They always hear them saying that I know one particularly. He now works in a different unit, and when I asked him, well, why choose to come to this unit, he was like, well, kind of policing I used to do, I was one of them bad policing them.
Yeah, you're always saying
you
that.
know? I was like, what is a bad police?
I don't know, it's like a thing,
You know?
it's like a pips in Trinidad. Yeah, I was a bad police. I used to do criminal this and I used to do that, and then when them boys see me coming, they frightened, and I don't know what it is,
Yeah,
but
and this is where the trust in policing is, because if it is that you know you're doing things that aren't regulated, that would be considered criminal and violations of human rights and stuff.
put them
like
in the
that.
back seat and take them for a ride and do this and do that. And it's like, oh, okay.
Even from Upper East Side back in 2016, 15 or 16 or so, when they had tortured the guy and threw the hot water or oil or something on testicles.
Policing.
How does us as a society could trust in the police or to cooperate with police if caught in illegal activities, and will it just be torture somebody throwing hot water on your stuff? I must cooperate to end up in that room with you. We'll be right back after these messages.
I am Zalisa Budu Singh Rupani, inviting you to join me for the rebirth of Apne Sitare, Our Stars, a vibrant and spectacular show celebrating the incredible local talents of the sons and daughters of Trinidad and Tobago. Experience the beauty of our culture through singing, dancing, and musical performances as we keep the arts alive and shining bright. Tune in right here on Real TV every Sunday from 1 p.m. for Apne Sitare, Our Stars. See you there.
Hello, everyone. I am the Reverend Clifford Rawlins, minister of the Diego Martin United Church and a published author. I am inviting you to join me on Real TV for Honest to God, where we are honest with what Scripture is and says, and addressing topical issues in Christianity in a postmodern context and post-colonial Caribbean landscape. Provocative, controversial, stimulating, and above all, openly honest. Every Tuesday at 2 to 3 p.m. right here on Real TV.
Honest to God, I'm coming clean. Honest to God.
When security matters most, choose Catch Security Services Limited. We are proudly approved by the Ministry of Homeland Security. We protect your home, business, community, and much more. Our services include professional baton and armed officers, specialized K-9 units, mobile patrols, secure cash pickups, secure transport, and pepper spray applications and supply coming soon. Don't wait. Secure your assets now. Contact Catch Security today. Call 622-6601, email info@cssl-tt.com, or visit our office at 30-32 Saddle Road, Maraval.
Hello everyone, I'm Kwesi Park. I invite you to join me right here on Real TV for the program Unfiltered Youth. This series will engage a panel of young persons from a very diverse cross-section of our society, talking or discussing the real issues affecting them in their daily lives. So join me right here on Real TV on Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. with repeats on Sundays and Wednesdays.
In a world full of noise, choose clarity. The Real News digital publication is your choice for important news coverage. From influential figures shaping our nation to a powerful week in review that keeps you informed. The weekly edition is available for download on all of our social media platforms. Smart, sharp, essential. Real News digital publication. Stay informed, stay educated, stay empowered.
And welcome back to this week's episode of Voice of the People. We'll touch on two concerns so far, stuff that we're seeing. I mean, a lot of people are already voicing what is happening, So we just thought we'd have shared our views and opinions here on the show. But before the last commercial break, we have been talking about the accountability that the police officers and stuff had. There isn't any accountability at all. There's no transparency, especially when it comes to extrajudicial killings in the service. But that's what it is, and until better could be done, we have to adapt.
Correct.
And it's quite unfortunate. Taking us to our next point now to school violence. Right?
Yeah. There was a video circulating with this young boy getting jumped by a couple of, I guess, his peers at school.
Yeah.
And
a lot of school they were on the street.
okay.
Yeah.
But he was getting jumped by a couple kids. He got kicked up in the head. They really beat him. And this seems to be an ongoing issue in schools. And what can be done?
Well, this is something that recently has become more rampant. We see it now, it's just like you walk in the street, and if you do see a school fight, it's like, nah, something wrong there.
It's like people are actually scared and intimidated by school children.
Yeah, we have school children these days now beating up teachers, parents and stuff like that.
Because I know sometimes if my mother have to go and conduct business, because there's certain places you would prefer to travel than to drive, and she would say, well, I will wait till the school children in school, and then I will catch a maxi and I will go, because I don't want to be on the road with them school children. So people are actually scared to be outside sometimes, along with school children.
When I am in transit during school transit hours, when they go into school, especially when they going home from school, because like there's be more boiled then.
They're more hyper.
Yeah.
They're ready for anything.
Exactly. I just get a little panic attacks when I see these groups of children and stuff, and I'm like, you gonna make it. Same little prayers and stuff, and go through those crowds and hope to make it home alive.
I mean, I'm laughing, but it is a serious matter. It's like, you shouldn't have to be scared of school children and the way they behave in the streets when they are away from their parents.
Exactly. And especially as parents, so knowing what is happening, and you sending your good child, especially if it's a one piece you have to school.
One piece a child.
One piece. Is one you haven't?
Yes.
So you could
I
relate.
say it all the time, but one piece a child.
Right. And to get a call that your child get beat up.
But it's the manner in which they was beating this child. Like, what could this boy have done for this set of licks?
Ask good. It needs you to ask the question, what measures are being put in place in the schools to deal with it?
And then on top of that, so this person, Jesus Christ, this person didn't, wow. Could you imagine a parent looking at that, and that is your child?
You see your child motionless body on the ground, and then you can't go up to roll over it.
So now you want to ask, who raised these children?
Children. Right?
Good answer.
Mistake we make in this country was signing onto that convention to abolish corporal punishment for children. That's my opinion.
No,
See that?
these children should
You
be
see-
tried
you
as
see-
adults.
You see that cartoon like even here, they all of them need. Which are the knockout parts? Yeah, because which are the discipline in school one and the social work and the guidance and stuff like that, because if it not happening at home, it's now left up to the schools. But then too, this is out, this video is outside of the school time as well too.
But then these kids are so out of control that adults are probably standing, seeing this happening, and they're even scared to intervene
Yeah.
because they might get the same curtail.
Yeah. And who knows, it probably has some adults that with their phone on recording.
Well, somebody recorded it, and we just say why you stand up and record and you don't do something. But then again, if they put down the phone, who would get the footage for us to see what's actually taking place with these school children?
They've implemented the school.
I have something to say.
Uh-huh.
Do you see the guy in blue?
Yeah.
What he picking up?
Picking up the money.
The money.
Wow.
Fell from the school
Rather than, yeah.
Than help.
Check this out.
Yeah, I seen it now. So he see opportunity to get a quick money there, and he gone.
Maybe boy little probably passage.
But who is the driver of this car? Because, like, the boy not on the ground. Is it that he didn't see the child laying on the ground?
Well, that had to be the case. That had to be the case. I highly doubt he that inconsiderate to know the boy on the ground and look to drive over him. Just see the children catch off and he gone. But rather than, anyways, come out to check or something.
Now, if a parent come out and retaliate to come and defend their child and find these children, these individuals, and do the unspeakable, no, they would be punished.
They're wrong.
They're wrong. But
Children don't know any better. But children know more than you and I today.
I think parents need to play a more active, going back to how we started these shows, especially fathers, in their children's lives.
The thing is right, if it is that parents do not want to accept responsibility for the children's actions, try them too. Because you're responsible for raising a child. You're responsible for teaching them right from wrong. And I had them come out and get like some little hooligans.
My angel.
Yeah, all of the little good boys and good girls. Because it starts at home. It starts with what it is that they are seeing at home. So rather than, okay, well fine, you know, if any of these children should be held accountable for what happened, the mother or father, they're good. Nothing going to happen to them. Right? They might make a few more children, and then the cycle continues. So my suggestion is, because at the end of the day, they say, you just make the child of the mind, you just make the mind. You are responsible for shaping the mind, for teaching them.
To teaching them how to behave.
Exactly.
And charity begins at home and it ends abroad.
Yeah.
Because I remember sometimes my daughter, she say, kids will ask her, well, we could go here, we could go there, and she say, the look on my face used to just flash across in her mind, and she know, if I do that, my mother, I don't want her to deal with that. So it's not that you're instilling fear in your kids, but you're letting them know, hey, don't play around with me.
Exactly.
Don't go out there and embarrass me because you know better.
Yeah.
But apparently these kids don't have nothing to fear. So they just out there doing whatever.
And rather than even using the tactic of the fearing what mommy or daddy gonna do, or the get any pot spoon or whatever they
That's how I grew up,
Yeah, I get some pot spoons.
Alright.
till I get immune to the pot spoon, I be like, what you really doing, But from young tender ages, right? From the point they come out, the way you interact with them, you mold and shape them. My children, for example, right? I never encourage the baby babble. You come, yeah, could you. No. Speak English. Because why? They're going to adapt to that. Right?
I mean, I don't agree with that 100%, but I spoke to my child as, I understand what you're saying, even though it's cute. Oh my God. But
nobody is saying no, but when you make it habitual, and that's what they consider, to the point today, teachers and so will have the question, well, what is it doing? I say, well, what do you mean? The level of what's the word, vocabulary and the way, especially even like with their writing and stuff, because my daughter not ready for the red and blue lines. She can hold a pencil, come sit down right here and write on the red and blue lines, and now she's writing better than if you see my chicken scratch compared to how she writes. And the way that, especially my son, the way that he speaks, yeah. And he read too and well spoken, huh? Again, he's the first one I'm going to share. But that is to say, what you expose your children to, that is how they're going to be. So if you are seeing children like this in this video coming out here being little gangsters and want to be jumping people based on whatever would have happened in school, I think they said it was based from a social media post, some banter on social media.
But how you as a parent can feel safe sending your child to school with kids like that?
To this day, I still don't feel safe. Anytime I see my phone ring and is the school calling, I just get a little anxiety attack. Because God, Lord have mercy, what could be going on now? They could be calling for something good, but thank God there's good things they were calling for. Right, and that was her, but the fact is, because of what happens today in schools, you can't help, your heart can't help but skip a beat. You're frightened. and my children are in primary school. You know? Far less when they go to secondary school.
It's scary because, you know, some people, they take time to instill morals and teach their kids right from wrong. And some people, they just, whatever, do what you want, whatever. If your father not here, do whatever.
Yeah. But that, you know, like I said, it all boils back to the opening topic, you know. So who you making sure and what? Not everybody is fit to be a parent.
Definitely not.
Going out there, and you see now, the reality is you hear it all over, is sure making sure. That's what happening. People are already, they're doing the big people thing out of vanity and lust and stuff. And they're not prepared for the responsibilities that come with it.
Yep.
I started with my children when I was young. But
all right, we're not going to talk about, let's not go there. All right, guys, this has been this week's episode of Voices of the People, Trinbago Speaks. See you next week, where we will have another interesting topic to discuss.
Right here on Real TV, at Friday from
2 to 3.
Thanks for joining us, guys.